Okay, are we ready? Check it, Temecula, are we ready?
Yes, Mr. President.
Check it, San Jacinto, are we ready?
Yes, Mr. President.
All right, we can get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spring 2024 Student Government Association Town Hall. Today, the executive officers and I are bringing you information that highlights all the stuff we've been working on in student government, as well as all the stuff we've been up to in terms of events, advocacy projects, and so on. I'll move on and we can introduce all the officers, part of the executive team.
Is the computer over there or there? The clicker's not working.
It's like we're decided to stop working. Okay, so we have me, of course, Christian Mondragon, your Student Government Association president, and then I'll have the other officers introduce themselves.
Lima Silver, Vice President, San Jacinto Campus.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darian Lee, Vice President of Temecula Valley Campus.
Next we have our commissioners.
Yes, hello. I'm Victor Gomez, Commissioner of Financial Affairs.
And then unfortunately, we do not have the Joya Miller or Samantha Cardenas here with us right now. Joya should be here shortly, and Samantha is currently out right now, but they send their best, and hope you all enjoy the presentation we put together. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to focus on is the student 9+1 rights. Student 9+1 rights they're outlined in the education code, and they indicate what the students have a say in regards to college governance. And the subjects that it includes are grading policies, codes of student conduct, academic disciplinary policies, curriculum development, courses or programs which should be initiated or discontinued, processes for institutional planning and budget development, student services planning and development, and student fees within the authority of the district to adopt. And then, of course, the +1 refers to any additional district or college policy or procedure that the governing board believes will have a significant impact on students. So basically anything that can be connected to the college student experience is something that we can have a say in through those shared governance spaces that we all have a seat on. And then next, we're moving on to exploring the role of student workers. Since my term began in last fall, I've started meeting with different staff, faculty, and administrators about the role of student workers at the institution and understanding the ins and outs, seeing what we can do to improve their experience as they provide a lot of essential support to guiding our students through their classes and becoming better at understanding the material. So some of the people I've met with are the Vice President of Instruction, the Dean of Instructions, and then a few directors, and also an employment specialist from HR. And we've been analyzing how student workers are paid and how they're paid, and the different types of funding, grants, and how the funding is divided out between departmental, and then how it goes from the government and how it provides funding to the college through programs like the Federal Work Study Program. And then going over college policies, we have a lot of the administrative procedures. I think it's AP 7270 that highlights how or the eligibility requirements for students to be student workers. And we're still going through the process of figuring out how we can advocate for student workers. So it's a work in progress, and right now the next step we're taking is gonna be to draft an action plan for the, to suggest for the next student government to utilize and continuing the advocacy efforts on behalf of student workers. So we'll move on to the next slide.
Is number lock on? No.
Okay, so we want to highlight some of the accomplishments during this term that all of our officers have had a large contribution in. And that would be the spring semester. So this semester, we voted and struck down the plus minus grading systems implementation. It was a tight vote. I believe it was 7-8. And it reflects the sentiments of the students across the institution. And then the second accomplishment would be this spring semester, we hosted some of the greatest events for Black History Month back in February. We have our amazing team put together a bunch of events with staff, faculty, and administrators present. And I think that it will set a precedent for future years, future teams to build off of. The third one we have in the fall semester, we really started to conform to the laws to make sure that we could reinforce the legitimacy and authority of our student body within the college. So that means following what's outlined in the California Brown Act, implementing parliamentary procedure to ensure that our meetings are regulated and we don't take things too long or fight with each other. It's to build that community and that teamwork. Those are just some of the accomplishments. There's so many other things we're gonna talk about. But those are some of the three main ones that I wanted to highlight in this slide. So right here we have some pictures, a lot of stuff we've done. We've been to Washington DC advocating on behalf of community colleges and across California, talking about issues such as basic needs and focusing on our undocumented students and how we can best support them. And we got to meet the senator, the young senator of the state. Her name is LaFonza Butler. And then we have some pictures from the Harvest Festival back in October. One of our events, the Winter Wonderland Dance. And then when we donated money to the Hall of Fame dinner, I believe that was one of the first times in, at least what I was told by the president of the college, 18-20 years, he has never seen a student government donate money to show support for the students being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Okay, so for this next slide, I'm going to hand it over to our vice presidents, Helena Silver and Darion Lee. We'll start off with Helena Silver to talk about the Interclub Council and its role in our governance.
So basically, good afternoon, everybody. So basically what this is the clubs gather the fellowship to let all the clubs know about what events that they're holding, and it's chaired, the meetings are chaired by vice presidents. That way, whatever's conveyed in the meetings, that we can bring it back to SGA and let them know the passions that the students are, for their clubs, any support that they may request from SGA. It's brought to the executive council for whatever support that they may request. And it's just also another way for us to know what is going on with our student body as well through the clubs. Darion, you have anything to add?
Yes, I did come up with a speech for the Inter ICC Club Council for this meeting. As we got here today, I am fulfilled with immense sense of pride and excitement for what lies ahead. Within the vibrant tapestry of our campus community, the Student Government Associated Interclub Council, ICC, stands as a beacon of unity and purpose, representing the diverse passions and interests that define us as individuals and as a collective. At the heart of the ICC lies a noble mission to champion the voice of our student body, to celebrate the rich tapestry of diversity that defines us, and to foster a culture of engagement and empowerment that transcends the boundaries of academia. As representatives from each of the Mount San Jacinto College District Charter Clubs, we are entrusted with a sacred duty to govern and administer all activities of these student-based organizations with wisdom, integrity, and inclusivity. It is through our collective efforts that we have the power to shape the destiny of our campus, community to show the seeds, to sow the seeds of positive change, and to leave a lasting legacy of generations to come. Embedded with our mission statements is a profound commitment to promoting the general welfare of our students, our college, and our community. We understand that true greatness lies not in individual achievement, but in our ability to come together as one, to support and uplift each other in times of triumph and adversity alike. As we embark on this journey together, let us never lose sight of the power that resides within each and every one of us. Let us embrace the diversity of perspectives and experiences that enrich our campus and community, and let us strive for full representation of our student voices, ensuring that every individual feels seen, heard, and valued. The ICC meeting held bi-weekly during the fall and spring semester serves as a forum for collaboration, innovation, and dialogue. It is here that we come together to exchange ideas, to chart a course for the future, and to reaffirm our shared commitment to excellence in all we do. My fellow students, as we stand on the height of possibility, let us seize this moment with both hands and embark on a journey of discovery, growth, and transformation. Together, let us build a future where every student's potential is realized and every passion is celebrated and every dream is within reach. Thank you, and may we continue to inspire and lift each other on this remarkable journey ahead.
Thank you, Vice President Lee, for that amazing speech. We will now move on to the next slide. So we have some college activities and events we want to highlight as the semester comes to a close and without the academic term. So we have Eagle Spirit Hour. Eagle Spirit Hour happens twice a month on Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And the final tabling session will be held on April 23rd. And that one will be focused on a national day, which will be National Jelly Bean Day. And then on April 24th, we have Denim and Donuts in collaboration with the Sexual Assault Awareness Month, hosted by the Title IX office with coordinator Megan Kaufman. The purpose of the event is to wear denim to show your support for sexual assault survivors. And then while you're at it, you have access to some donuts while supplies last, of course. And this event will be taking place, as stated earlier, April 24th, 8:30 a.m. at the San Jacinto campus, 10:30 a.m. at the Menifee Valley campus, and then 12:30 p.m. at the Temecula Valley campus. And then lastly, we have graduation support. The SGA has donated about 800 sets of regalia for students who RSVP'd for graduation. So please refer to an email you may have received from Student Services Executive Assistant Selena Paez Mendez, and it will have all the dates and times for you to go pick up your graduation regalia at each of the 3 campuses. In addition to that, we'll be hosting the hospitality booth in the graduate station area. Next slide. So upholding equity and promoting diversity. We have done a lot of things to ensure that the values of this institution and our governing body are upheld. So in order to do this, we've promoted through several events and initiatives such as International Women's Day. The International Women's Day event was held in order to celebrate the women of our communities and their contributions to society. We held a panel to highlight the different experiences that women go through, and there were so many people that showed up. It was a massive success. And then AB 963, in an effort to promote civic engagement and student empowerment, as directed by California law, we have been strategizing the different ways we can increase political efficacy by registering students who are eligible to vote and participate in the civic processes of our country. Moving down, we have menstrual products and restrooms. Doing the bare minimum is not enough to ensure the community feels supported. So we are also finding ways to work with the college and provide more resources so that students on campus can go to bathrooms and not have to worry about running across the bathrooms, stuff like that. So we're applying pressure in all the ways that we can and exploring different methods of implementation to ensure that students have the accessibility to these resources. Next up, we have public relations and audience appeal. So over this academic term, we've been doing our best to raise the marketing and really utilize the social media platform we have to boost the student voice. And so compared to previous years, I'd say we've done significantly better with all the posters we've created, the polls we've taken, documenting the various events we've been to. And Instagram has been our main platform. So if you haven't followed that yet, here on the next slide, we have a QR code if you want to scan it, and it will take you to not only links to our social media platforms, but also links to our pages where we have all of our information about SGA, how you can get involved, and many other things. So next up, I'm going to pass it over to our Commissioner of Financial Affairs. But first, I just wanted to highlight something on the institutional effectiveness side of the house, and that's that we've been looking at our governing documents and reviewing them to ensure that they're up to date, there's no inconsistencies, so that when we come to elections this May, all the students can have a vote in the implementation of these revisions. So we've been looking at our constitution, our bylaws, and then ICC bylaws, all those documents. And if you go back to the QR code that we presented earlier, and you go to the link to our website, you should be able to find all the documents listed. There should be a PDF document, and you can review them as well. And if you'd like to present any suggestions, we have our meetings are all public, so we're always open to that. And then you'll find later in the presentation, I've included my email, and there should be many other ways to contact staff if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. So now we'll move on to financial affairs and all of our budgeting. I'll pass it off to Commissioner Gomez.
Hello, everyone. I introduced myself earlier. I'm Victor Gomez, Commissioner of Financial Affairs. The Financial Affairs Committee is responsible for handling the budget that SGA has. If you're unaware, the students actually fund a lot of the activities and that sort of thing, and so we have a budget reserve for different events, giving out like different things. And so in these next couple of slides, I'm just gonna go over some figures and some numbers that go over our expenditures, what we thought we were gonna spend and that sort of thing, kind of like just going over basically how this money being used. There's two different types of funds, but the one that mainly pertains to the student events is what I'm gonna be talking about mainly. So did the slide switch? Okay, cool. So right here, this is like an overview from the 2023-2024 period. So the dark orange is the anticipated expenses, otherwise known as like what we think we're gonna spend, and versus the current expenditure total, which is the lighter kind of like peach color. And so as you can see, these different sections, we have the stipends, which is basically how we give money to the different officers. Graduation regalia, which is money reserved for when students begin to graduate. Office supplies, which is just like general stuff that we need to like actually like get some of these stuff done. Catering, we haven't quite hit that budget yet, but we're still within good range. Club funding has gone a little bit over, but see swag slash giveaways, we've been giving a lot of stuff out, events. So it has to do with events, utilities is just, you know, for like the offices, like the air conditioning, that sort of thing. And reserve is just that like, extra money that is set aside, so, gonna move on to the next slide. And so this figure is it's a pie chart. It isn't quite everything that we've spent, just like what we have spent so far in terms of the percentages. So just kind of the different things that I was going over in the previous chart or the infographic. It's the same basically same categories, but it's just broken down to show like just how much money has been spent so far. I mean, this is kind of, it's just percentage, it's just more of like a visual aid, that just in case the numbers or the chart's a little bit confusing, this is a little bit more digestible, I'd say. So moving on to the next slide. So this is the student registration fee budget. So most students would know that when they're initially like registering for their class, there's a fee that they can opt out of or opt into. And so this is kind of representing of those different numbers. And so part of that budget goes towards going on to different like trips and conferences that are kind of necessary for us to kind of like translate that information from the student executive council and then the legislative council to the students. And so here we got the ASAC, ASAA Triple C. Sorry, I might have said that wrong. March 2024, Washington DC, which is a trip that we recently went on. Let's see, anticipated expenses, so we kind of went under budget for that, so that's cool. The double S Triple C, April 2024, Santa Clarita. Let's see, we actually went a little bit under budget with that one as well. And then we got the Triple C S double A, October 2024, San Francisco, which we were on budget for that one. So, I mean, you can see on the y-axis is kind of like the amount of money that was actually spent. And then the X is just kind of like which events they were, and then the key will kind of let you know what we expected to spend versus what we actually spent. And let's see. Okay, yeah, that pretty much concludes my report.
Okay, and to build off a little more on what Commissioner Gomez had mentioned about our budget. When you pay the student government rep fee, there's two different fees. One of them $7, the other one's $2. The $7 one goes into our budget, then the $2 one, $1 goes to the statewide organization, the Student Center for California Community Colleges, which is an organization that's a collection of all the community colleges across California's student governments. And as you saw, we went to their conference, it's called the General Assembly, and through there, we advocate on behalf of the institution and collectively to push issues to be resolved that we think would be in the best interest of the student populations across California. And so that $7 fee, we use them to put on these events and stuff, all of that, and then I believe the $2 fee goes into our conferences and basically allows us to represent you on greater levels, just like how we also did at Washington DC when we went and talked with the Senator of California and knocked on the doors of other legislators to get their support on pushing certain bills and resolutions to issues that would impact community college students, not just in California, but in the country as a whole. So we're gonna move on to next slide, which is our final goals. This is just a list of the stuff that we've been working on and trying to push forward. This is what we hope to get done within our last few meetings of the semester. If not, we are drafting an action plan to be presented to the executive council next week. And then at our last meeting to the legislature for final approval, in which we outline a bunch of initiatives and projects that student government's been working on all year. Since we've been working tirelessly, there's a lot of stuff that has to be continued into the next year so that we can do more research and all of that. So I have listed that we want to approve and delegate funding from our budget to scholarships for students so that we can highlight their academic achievements. And then we also want to increase access to menstrual products for students across the college. As I mentioned earlier, when we were talking about student equity and cultural affairs, it's important to make sure that students have access to resources that they need to have a positive college experience, to feel comfortable while they're in classes, while they're in extracurricular activities, and so on. And then we wanted to shift the budget system for our inter-club council to alleviate the burdens that our financial affairs committee and the SGA as a whole finds right now. So we'd be creating a budget for ICC so that they can draw from those funds as opposed to drawing directly from student government funds. And then we want to raise the SGA sticker fee. That's of course something that we're still looking into. We want to find the best way to accommodate student expenses while also making it so that we can produce larger events and activities so that the college student experience is heightened and far more memorable. And then next we have upgrade the cafes. That's another thing we've recently looked into. We want to see about implementing different activities within the cafes so that students can do more. We've seen students bring in projectors and place them in there. Maybe sort of some games and stuff. Like we've been looking at pool tables, whatever we can to make it a more fun environment so we can draw more students onto campus and also build that community, because that's the most important part of community college. And then the next thing we have is an initiative that's been heavily pushed was the African Studies course. A survey was released a while ago and it was collecting the responses from students about possibly implementing a course focused on the African continent and its rich history. So right now we're in the stages of seeing what channels we can go through, and we'll potentially create an action plan to ensure that we recognize the population of students who come from that demographic and appreciate the history that the course can explore. Next up, we have redefining the relationship between the SGA and administrators. So this is a big thing. We want to ensure that we can represent you in the best way possible. So that means that meeting with administrators who sit on the top of the college hierarchy and making sure that we can work collaboratively to implement these initiatives we've been working on and keep the students' interests at heart when doing so. So lastly, as I mentioned earlier, we're working on action plans for the rest of the issues and activities that we want to focus on and improve. So that will also include the student worker advocacy, because there's a lot more research that needs to be done. And the best way we can do that is by being prepared and knowing what direction to go into. On this next slide here, we have a QR code for the next year's SGA team. So it's the elections, and if you want to participate in student government next year, I would scan this, fill out an application. All the dates are listed on the website. If you scan this, and then the applications are open right now for all the positions. So if you want to be president next year, if you want to be a student trustee, be a commissioner, senator, or even a vice president, all those positions are open for next year. And we're gonna have a fun election process, and you'll have a chance to speak, campaign, and basically utilize your passions and talents through the Student Government Association. And then right here, as we come to a close, we'll take this time to answer any questions. If you'd like to submit your questions anonymously, you can scan the QR code and then we can answer them. We'll give about 5 to 7 minutes.
You can have them ask if they wanna ask too.
And then if we have anyone on Zoom that's interested in asking a question, if you want to raise your hand or you can unmute. We'll go once, we'll go twice. If there are no questions, then right here, we have our. You have my email so that you can send me emails directly. And then I'll be happy to respond, answer any questions, direct you to the right people, resources. Our final meetings are coming up. We have our
Mr.
legislative
President?
meeting.
There's one question over here. Sorry, Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead. If you wanna
Right.
facilitate over there.
1 second. We have one anonymous comment. Menstrual products should be available at all restrooms.
Okay, thank you for that comment. Do we have anything else? Do you have any other anonymous comments or non-anonymous comments, questions?
There's one more comment.
Yeah, I see Ronnie.
I just wanted to say a great job to you all. As you know, you guys all know I'm classified Senate President here. I've worked closely with many of you and just wanted to say you all have done an amazing job. Wanted that to be on the record. And so it's been a rough year. It's been a year of much progress though as well. And so hats off to you all. Great job to you all, and look forward to hear about all your future endeavors. And also shout out to those brave souls that are going to jump in for next year. We are here to support you all, and grateful for your work and efforts. So much obliged. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words, Ronnie. We really appreciate your attendance this meeting. Is there anybody else that'd like to speak?
For Temecula campus, there was another comment, and I was calling for the menstrual products. Students want to be aware and know the update for the products for upcoming semesters.
Sorry, could you repeat that a little closer to the mic so that you can hear?
Hear me correctly?
Oh,
Hear
That's
me
good.
clearly?
yeah, that's good.
So the question is, would it be a follow-up on the future plans you're implementing, like the menstrual products, so we can know for next semester?
A follow-up, you said?
Yes.
Yes, there should be follow-ups on these things, as we had mentioned earlier as well, there are. You can come to our meetings, they're public, and then we also have posted on the website, if you scan the QR codes previously listed. We'll have the whole video posted on the website and everything if you need to go back. We do have the meetings listed and the days and times, if you can't attend those, there should be minutes posted, which are one of our commissioners takes notes on what was said in the meeting and then posts them. They're posted on the website, and then you can refer to those, and it should indicate any progress made on the issues that you find yourself most interested in. And as well, there will be more town halls. I can't speak for the future, but I would assume there would be future town halls, and that's another avenue in which these issues will be further explained and their progress. Do you have any other anonymous comments?
Yes, I have two more over here. They're still coming in. First comment, next time, can we see more flyers about your events? Thank you very much. So we need to post more flyers about events in the future for our events. And the next comment is thanks for all the hard work SGA has done.
Were there any other ones?
That should be it for now. May continue.
Okay, thank you to everyone who sent in those anonymous comments, questions, concerns, all of that. We always like to hear from our constituents because the whole reason we're in this office is to support you. And now I just want to move back to the concluding remarks. We have, once again, my email's right there. You can also look on the website. We have the emails of everybody in the office, for student life and development, especially our advisors. Amber Rivera and Deja Pruitt, their email should be listed, and you can call the office as well if you have any concerns. And then those will fall back onto our desks and we can review them. And then I just want to say that to all those who see this video in the future and to all those who are here present now, that the student voice truly does matter, no matter who tells you whatever they think that it doesn't, that it really does matter. And that's what we're trying to push. That's what we've been trying to push this whole year. No matter what resistance we faced, no matter what issues we faced as well, the student voice will always be important to how the college governs. So never be afraid to speak your mind and let your voice be heard. And that will conclude our town hall for the spring 2024 semester and the academic term as a whole. Now we thank everyone for coming, and we hope that you'll participate in elections and elevate the voices of others through the positions that you can acquire in student government. And it's been great serving as your current administration. And we hope to see the best for the future.